It is my great pleasure to meet all of you, together with President Trump. Let me begin by extending once again warm welcome to the President for his state visit to China. Yesterday and earlier today, the President and I have had in-depth discussions on China-US relations and major international and regional issues of mutual interest. We reviewed the important progress made in the relationship since we met at Mar-a-Lago, and we discussed how to further move forward the relationship in the months ahead in great depth, and we reached a series of new and important consensus. Our meeting is constructive and productive. I shared with the President the policies adopted at the 19th Party Congress. I conveyed China's firm commitment to deeper reform, greater opening up, and a path of development, and China's desire to expand converging interests with other countries and promoting coordination and cooperation. President Trump domestic reform and policy. The development of China and the United States is mutually reinforced without contradicting each other. Success interests of both countries. We believe that facing States being two large countries share more common interests, showed a greater responsibility, and enjoy broader room for cooperation. A healthy, stable, and growing China-US relationship is not only in the fundamental interest of the Chinese and American people, it also meets the expectations of the international community. For China and the United States, win-win cooperation is the only right choice and the pathway toward a better future. We agree to keep in close touch through mutual visits, meetings, phone calls, and correspondence, with a view to having time on major issues of shared interest. We agree to make the most of the diplomatic and security dialogue, comprehensive economic dialogue, social and people-to-people dialogue, and law enforcement and cybersecurity dialogue for high-level dialogue mechanisms, and greater results out of these dialogues. And the United States are the two important. We need to further expand trade and investment cooperation, strengthen macroeconomic policy coordination, pursue healthy, stable, and dynamically balanced economic and trade relations. It is necessary to formulate and launch economic cooperation plan for the next phase, to have continued in-depth discussion on trade imbalance, export restrictions, investment environment, market openness, and other issues, and work to support practical cooperation in energy, infrastructure, Belt and Road Initiative, and other areas. Just now, the President and I witnessed the signing of some major cooperation agreements by our businesses. During this visit, the two sides signed over $250 billion of commercial deals and two-way investment agreements. According to China's timetable and roadmap for opening up, China announced a number of steps to promote market access. This speaks volume of the broad space for further economic and trade cooperation between the two countries, which would deliver great benefits to the two peoples. We agreed to expand exchange and dialogue between our two militaries at various levels, realized at an early date Secretary of Defense to China and a senior high-level Chinese military and as of the first
我们同意加强执法及网络安全领域合作。
Cooperation.
双方重申不愿成为对方国家逃犯的避罪天堂，将责成两国的有关部门积极探讨在追逃追赃、非法移民遣返
cooperation mechanism regarding fugitive assets recovery and repatriation of illegal immigrants. The two sides will continue the implementation of the 5-point consensus reached in 2015 to enhance cybersecurity cooperation, including for terrorist purposes and tackling cybercrimes. We will deepen counter-narcotics cooperation and better protect each other in their respective countries.
Two
distinctive countries, our two sides may have different views or differences on some issues. This is only natural. The key is to properly handle and manage them. There is far more common interest between our two countries than differences. It is important to respect each other's sovereignty and territorial integrity, respect each other's choice of development path, and our difference. As long as the two sides to a constructive approach, put aside and diffuse, same time build common ground and advance cooperation. We also discussed the international responsibilities our two countries shoulder. We agreed to global issues and jointly seek proper resolution of relevant hotspot issues to make greater contribution to peace, stability, regions, and the world at large. On the Korean Peninsula nuclear issue, we reiterated the firm commitment to achieving denuclearization of the peninsula and upholding international non-proliferation regime. The two sides will continue to fully implement UN Security Council resolutions, commit to working, and we are ready to peace and stability in the East Asia. The two sides will maintain communication and cooperation. We believe that China and the United States are countries with important influence. I said to the two sides need communication, common friends, build constructive interactions, and jointly maintain and promote peace and stability and prosperity in the region. We also discussed the Middle East, Afghanistan, and other issues, and agreed to deepen cooperation on counterterrorism, non-proliferation, nuclear security, and stronger support to UN peacekeeping operations. We believe that friendship between our peoples is the foundation for the sustained growth of China-US relations, and we agreed to further promote people-to-people. We will expand student exchange program, hold China-US Young Makers every year, and open additional Young Makers exchange centers in both countries. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, President Trump's state visit is a successful and historic visit. Together, the two of us have set out the direction and draw up the blueprint for China-US relations in the coming period. We will work with the United States and act on the consensus with further progress in China-US relations to bring greater benefits to our peoples and people across the world. Thank you very much.